took off. So the youth that played today learned a great deal, and I am so proud of our players tonight and our staff that have worked so hard after the major disappointment of Sunday's performance, not so much the performance but certainly the result at the time that the Martinique players scored, to pick the group up and get them ready for the powerhouse that Mexico are. Speaks volumes for the character, and well done to everyone within our association for helping along.
Right there front left, Coach.
Kyle McCarthy, Fox Soccer. Colin, I saw you putting your hands out after about 10 minutes, telling your guys to slow down and kind of move the ball around. Did you feel like they started to do that a little bit as the first half progressed?
Yeah, Kyle, I actually thought we played very well in spells. I thought we showed maturity in possession. We're still not the finished article in the final third, that's for sure. But I said on Sunday as well that I thought that we passed the ball well in times. And tonight Mexico pressed very high, very early in the game, and we expected that. And our young players still moved the ball very well in very tight areas. And you know, we're not at the fitness level that we could be later on in the year when our players are fully fit. But the way that we showed maturity, Samuel Piet, 18 years of age, in the middle of the park playing beside Julian de Guzman, I thought they were excellent tonight. I thought they gave us everything, and Kyle Becker, his first game for a long time, and I'm hoping now that he goes and opens the door for himself at TFC, that he's put in a fantastic performance there tonight. And same thing with Jonathan Osorio. I was very, very proud of us in possession of the ball tonight. I thought we played with maturity, and I'm very, very proud of the players.
Coach, back to the wall.
Hi Colin, Lee Bird, soccerwire.com. How much did you feel like the team missed Will Johnson and Russell Tybert tonight? And for, speaking of guys who did play, what did you think of your goalkeeper Milan's performance?
Yeah, I think Milan has got better as the tournament has progressed. He made a very good save, or two good saves in the first half. I just watched the highlights from start to finish on TV. I think any time you take Will Johnson, who's your captain and a natural leader, out of the group, he's doing tremendously well with Portland. When you take him out of the equation, when you take Russell Tybert, who's been sick, has just come back from the hospital this morning after getting tested, he'll probably leave the group again tomorrow to go back to Vancouver by the looks of it. So when you take those players with the quality out of the group, you're then looking at the rest of the group, how much progress has been made since we've been together and what they have character-wise. And I think it was there for everyone to see that the work that we've done in our preparations, regardless of who played, and I said to the group at the start when I first arrived that the system may or may not change and the personnel may change, but every player will have a minimum requirement. And I thought those players, knowing that what has happened to this group since the squad was announced has been, you couldn't not script it any worse for the Canadian team here. I'm not making excuses, I'm actually singing the praises of our players and everyone who's worked to try to put that sort of product on the pitch tonight. I'm very proud of the players. But long-winded answer, I'm sorry, but yes, you would obviously miss those players of quality, but I thought the players who stepped in tonight stood up and were counted tonight. I'm very proud of them.
Back left side, fourth row.
Carlos Hernandez with AP Spanish Services. Coach, what do you think are the chances for your team on this crucial game on Sunday against Panama?
Well, I watched the game Panama versus Martinique, and once again, people hopefully in our country will now start to realise that Martinique are not a pub team. Martinique are a very good side, a very dangerous side, and for long spells had Panama under pressure. I totally respect Panama, how they play, their attitude, their work rate. They have some terrific players in their team, and I've just said to our players after the game that there is no point in putting in this sort of performance tonight to let ourselves down in a huge game for Canada on Sunday against Panama. So we're well aware that it will be a very difficult game. They're at the top of the group, and rightly so with the 2 wins. But I have nothing but the utmost respect for Panama, and if we can build on this sort of performance, this sort of commitment, then I think we'll be a match, and I think we'll grow in CONCACAF again.
Front center, coach.
Hi, Michael McCall, AFTN.ca. There was a lot of criticism on Sunday after the Martinique result. What would you say to those that are critical, as a former player yourself that went on to play internationally? How big a gap, how big a leap is it for these guys to go from playing MLS reserves to playing at international level?
Yeah, and even the MLS reserves is not a consistent weekly basis game. Man, it's an enormous jump, and the guys that are in Europe, I mean, I played in Scotland for over 15 years, and I know that this time of the year, where the Gold Cup comes in, is a nightmare time for the majority of our squad, because our fitness levels are not what they would be in a month's time, even as an example. So I think the people that were critical of the team on Sunday, I didn't see too many reporters other than these two gentlemen here that were down and saw that it was 94 degrees, and we've played against a team that have just run Panama very, very closely with 10 men, it has to be said, for about the last 15-20 minutes. People, for some reason, thought that Canada just had to turn up to win on Sunday, and that is not the case. We're in a massive rebuilding phase, and anyone who underestimated Martinique, I said already, would be very foolish. And it's just devastating that the timing of the goal was the time that it was, because it was virtually the last play of the game before the kick-off again. So, but as I said earlier, sorry to repeat myself, but I'm very proud of that response after having been kicked in the teeth the way we were on Sunday. To get this sort of response tonight, hopefully the people that write all these wonderful blogs will now actually sit back and maybe give these players a little bit of credit.
Left side.
It's not a penalty. I could go into great detail here, but I'm biting my lips here as hard as I possibly can. What I'm saying and what I'm feeling are two totally different things, I can assure you.
Back row left, row left.
Camilo Quiroz from Football MLS. I was going to ask the penalty question, but following up, you really feel like you could have taken way more than what you took tonight?
Well, I take nothing away from Mexico, because they were a team that were hurting, and I thought at times they played very well and showed their real class and their quality in possession and their movement. But I thought that Canada, we've hit the crossbar. I thought that we deserved more than we got tonight. I think it'd be safe to say that Mexico fought very hard to try to break us down and didn't create a million chances. Of course, they missed one or two chances, understandable where they are in the world and where we are in the world. But I thought that it was going to take, we didn't defend well from the corner kick 4 minutes before half-time. There was a flick on and we don't match the run for the flick on, and that's how they scored their first goal. The second goal is, well, I won't go into it anymore, but that's how they scored their goals, Mexico. And if you take those elements out of the game, we're in the mix. We're absolutely in the mix, and I thought we tried to commit players forward, and I'm very proud of our players.
From left side.
Colin, two quick ones. First of all, how's Marcus? And second, you only have to win against Panama. Do you just sort of go all out and just throw caution to the wind and see what the guys can do in the last one in Denver?
Well, Marcus Haber, we took him off at half-time. He had a heel injury, so we'll have to assess that. Whether it's, I think it's a kick, Gavin, that he's had on his ankle. The big fella would not come off if he wasn't struggling, because he was causing Mexico real problems. So we'll have to reassess that. I wouldn't be able to give you an accurate answer at the moment. We'll probably be a little bit clearer in the morning, but he is in significant pain at this moment in time. I think with regards to Sunday, the most important thing there is, I understand the temperature in Denver today was 35 degrees Celsius, so that's a little bit warmer than Seattle. And so, of course, for us to go guns a-blazing in that sort of temperature would be, once again, foolish. But the biggest thing, the meeting that we had with the players, there was so much positivity in the group that and so much belief of where we're at and where we've come from a couple of weeks ago, that we go into the game having played well tonight against a good Mexican side, and we have to carry that on, and we will try to be as positive as we possibly can be against Panama, because you just never know in this tournament. If we can get a result, goodness knows what could happen still.
Okay, one or two questions left, right side of the wall.
Coach, Billy Sanis with Copa Limitada. Quick question just to follow up on saying the weather with 35 degrees Celsius and playing in Denver, especially playing in three different huge types of environment, from LA to here and then to Denver. How are you going to apply the team to that to really be able to go all out?
Yeah, the most important thing now is our recovery process, and that is